Fellow teachers, welcome back to the channel where we talk teaching, learning, and everything in between. Today we're tackling something every teacher has a love-hate relationship with, coursebooks. Or as I like to call them, helpful strangers who don't know your students. So, what do you do when your coursebook doesn't quite fit? Well, you adapt, but not randomly. You adapt with purpose. So here are 5 tips grounded in both research and classroom practice to help you tweak your book without tossing it out the window. Now, one thing before we move on, as an English teacher, most of the examples I share here come from English classes. However, the principles apply to any subject, whether you teach math, science, or something else entirely. You can adapt these examples to fit your own teaching context. So, let's get into it. Before you start slashing pages, ask yourself, who are my learners? Who am I teaching? Most course books are like factory-made suits. Technically fine, but not tailored. So adapt to the context, your students' background, interests, age, level, culture, motivation. You know, that dry email to the hotel manager task can actually be a writing note to a TikTok influencer, right? That's still writing for a purpose. This way, you're making your lessons more learner-focused. You know, learner-centered instruction says that if it's not meaningful to them, they're not going to engage. So let's say the goal is practicing past simple, right? But the book gives you some Tim went camping nonsense that no one cares about. Why not let students narrate the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to them out of school? Still past simple, way more fun. Willis and Willis called this task-supported learning. You keep the outcome, but make the route more relevant. Some more classroom ideas can be turning a gap-filling activity into a classroom detective game. Or instead of a textbook dialogue, you can have them script a mini soap opera using the same target language. Oh, and if you're working with large classes, my video, How to Assess Large Classes, shows how you can adapt even big, messy groups to some task-based goals. Check that out too. You don't need to do it all, really. A lot of teachers, especially early on, feel like skipping parts is kind of forbidden. Like the coursebook police will show up. But in reality, students benefit more from depth over coverage. It's better to do one activity really well and adapt it for fluency and accuracy and even reflection than to go through 5. This one's easy. You can turn any textbook task into a critical thinking one by simply adding a question. At the end, when you complete the activity with your students, you can ask, do you agree? What if this happened in your country? Is this fair? What would you do if you were in this position? You know, you're not just drilling language, you're building minds. And this aligns beautifully with Bloom's taxonomy, taking students from remembering to evaluating, and it keeps even, you know, the most scripted activities human. The book may be beautifully organized, but your students, they live messy lives. Bring them into the lesson. If the topic is food, why not have them record a MasterChef style review of their, favorite local dish? If it's jobs, make a mock job fair and let them role play interviews. It's experiential learning, and it helps students internalize the language because they've lived it, not just read it. And by the way, if you want more on this, check out my video on project-based learning for language classes. I share practical examples there. Remember, Coursebooks are a tool, not a cage. If you found this helpful, drop a like, share it with a fellow teacher, and subscribe for more smart, practical content from someone who's been through the fire. And as always, teach smart, stay curious, and keep it real. Catch you in the next one.